Well, hello everybody, and it's 2:05 Eastern Standard Time, and just wanted to check, and this is Slim Overton on Slim Nation and a one-on-one podcast, the Slim Nation AM and Slim Nation Facebook. Have a page on Facebook, but we're Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We have a Slim Nation uh, on YouTube, two channels, the one-on-one podcast and the Slim Nation channel, both on YouTube. But right now we're YouTube Live on the one on one and Facebook Live. And just wanted to see who's up at 2:05 after 2 o'clock. A lot of people probably are up at this time normally, up until about 2. I guess it's around 3 and 4 when it's unusual to be up during this time. But when you're up during this time and you can't sleep, what do you do? Or what's on your mind? I mean, do you try to put me? I'm gonna look like a professor here now. Do you try to um, do you read a book? Do you try to solve any world problems? Um, is it stress maybe causing you not to sleep, or what's on your mind? Or did you take one too many naps during the day? You know, we tend to do that when you take those naps during the day. It can kind of interrupt your sleep pattern. You know, they say we should at least get 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day. I don't know how many people do that. Um, not straight through, not consecutively straight through, but you know, most time, most people I know go to sleep and wake up during the night. And sometimes you can't get back to sleep, or you wake up and you go to the kitchen, which is a no-no. I had one doctor say to me, "You shouldn't be eating anything after 8 o'clock because your system, your digestive system, doesn't need to be working while you sleep. Everything needs to be relaxed." That's one of the reasons probably why we wake up during the night is because we eat late. And I think all of us do that, you know, get that little snack before we go to bed, or some of us even eat a full meal, or especially if you're out, you know, at a party or an event and you eat the meal, or they're serving food during the whole time and you're there late, or you're at a club or something like that where you can order food, you know, that can interrupt your sleep pattern. And most of us probably don't have a sleep pattern. Some people that probably sleep straight through those 6 to 8 hours probably are really energized throughout the day. Um, and barring taking any naps during the day, they're probably ready by the time the night comes to go to sleep. And the body is ready to, wind down now and get some rest. So, um, that's one of the things we should do, but many of us don't. You know, especially when you're retired, it throws your whole sleep pattern off. When you were working and you had those jobs where you had to be there at 6, or and you had to get up around 4:30 or 5 to prepare yourself for that job. You know, it was easy once you were home to go to sleep around 10, or at least by 11, and sometimes early for some people, depending on how early they had to wake up and what their job required, for them to be well rested, especially if it's an active service job. But just wanted to know what do y'all think out there? You know, what do you do when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep? You know, well, you can leave your comments if you're watching out there. Don't see too many people watching, but we're going to continue with this video. I've done this before. Come on, uh, early in the morning, and just wondering what people are doing, especially, and most of the time it's people that are retired and they just can't sleep. So they wake up. So when you wake up during the night, or if you're up now watching, what's on your mind? I mean, do you think about world issues? Do you think about the Supreme Court and the actions they took the last few days? Do you, pick up the paper and read the paper? Do you turn on the TV like a lot of us do because TV is on 24/7? Or do you go to your computer and go to one of your platforms and Facebook or YouTube or whatever you have, or just work on some work. Those of you who are still working, get some work done, or uh, look at your budget, see if you're acting within your budget. What do you do when you wake up like this? You know, it's always a question, and I think a lot of people come on, especially Facebook, and say I'm up. Who else is up? And I noticed that, and a lot of people chime in, say I'm up, and it's amazing how many people are up early in the morning or late. Well, I guess you would call it early in the morning because it's a.m. And some of those people do have to go to work. So if you're out there, just leave a comment and say, you know, you woke up, you couldn't sleep, or is this the normal time you wake up, or are you one of those people that go to sleep at 8 o'clock at night or 7:30? When my mother was got on in her advanced age, and she was here in the house by herself, and she was in her 80s, I believe, and she would go to bed about 7:30, something like that. And she said, "Well, what else I have to do? I don't have anything else to do, so might as well go to sleep." And she wasn't a big nighttime TV watcher, but daytime, yeah. So she had to be awake for Young and the Restless and all the other stories that came on during the day that she wanted to watch. But nighttime, she wasn't a big nighttime TV. That was when I was growing up, and my father and I were here. We were the nighttime TV watchers, and she chose that time to have some time to herself, even though all of us were in the house. Excuse me. All of us were in the house together. She chose that time to do certain things. And one of the most annoying things she used to do, she used to say, "Okay, this is a good time to sew," and she would take out her sewing machine and be in another room and sew. And well, my father and I would be in the den trying to watch TV, and the sewing machine always caused static within the TV during that time. And it was kind of annoying, but we never, well, I wasn't going to complain, but my dad didn't complain because he could have, because they were on equal, equal stands, husband and wife. But me as the kid, don't complain about anything. I was living, eating, and sleeping free. So, certain things you just kept quiet and went with the program. But that's what she would do. Sew with that sewing machine, and why she would pick, especially in Monday Night Football, why she would pick Monday Night Football to figure she wanted to do some sewing. But yeah, but she used to go to bed at about 7:30 because she didn't have anything else to do, and she wouldn't really be tired because she didn't do a whole lot during the day. Um, but once she got into bed, she would actually go to sleep. So I don't know how many times she woke up during the night because I wasn't here overnight until she started falling in the house, and then that's when I sort of moved in and stayed with her until she passed away right here in the house. So, but that was an interesting time. So what are y'all doing out there? Nobody has left a comment yet. So, but anyway, uh, not a lot of people up or even watching now, but that's okay. This is still me. the Slim Nation trying to test out or promote the new podcast I have, the Slim Nation One on Ones podcast. So I come on here just about every day or as often as I can, leading up to when we're going to start really doing um, the videos again. We've been doing one-on-one videos on the Slim Nation channel. I'm going to reserve that for other things uh, and reserve the one-on-one. I know you all, anybody watching, have seen this presentation before, but the one-on-ones will be specifically for conversations between myself and special guests. You know, most of the time it's going to be one guest, and it could be two or three, but one-on-one between me and special guests, or a special guest, or a guest. So so look forward to that. Look forward to that, and I'm not going to stay up too much longer because I guess I don't know. Uh, It's a Sunday. For some reason, I did a lot of sleeping. We were out earlier today and came home and did some things around the house and laid on the sofa and found myself in and out of sleep. I was trying to watch some Netflix movies and or catch up on some series, and you know I had to keep wake up and run it back and see what I missed. So I just couldn't stay awake. So I guess I'm paying for that now because I'm up now and it's 2:17 in the morning. But I guess that's not too late. It's those 3 and 4 and 5 o'clock times. And I'll probably come back off and I wake. If I wake up during those times, I'll probably come back on and see who's up around 4:30 or 5. That's going to be interesting. It's always interesting to come on here and do these. But uh, and just to see who's up and what's going on. But you know, well, the Supreme Court has done some things. Okay, you have the conservatives and others who for years have been targeting the certain laws that are on the books, and this is their time. They have the votes on the Supreme Court, and most of the ones up there have been appointed by conservative presidents, and so they are doing what they said they wanted to do all these years. Striking down Roe versus Wade, and now they have stopped Biden's effort to loan college loan forgiveness, and I guess that's something that we have to deal with that part of it. And the college thing, you know, uh, stopping the advantages that some minorities have had, supposedly have had to go to college all these years, and people have been accused of having that advantage when they really didn't. They really worked hard for it. So I think it's going to affect in certain ways, but a lot of the schools are still going to go for that diversity, and they're just going to do it in a different way where it's not going to be against the law like the Supreme Court struck it down now. So it's the law of the land. It just seems like it's anybody's opinion. Does the Supreme Court, because that seems like they're striking down laws that should be probably handled by our legislators. But you probably would get the same results if that was the case because the conservatives, you know, uh, have the numbers in the legislature, in the Congress, you know, to do that. So people are saying, their rulings, the last few days have been political, and on the surface, that's what it looks like. Um, he- but you know, I guess in they saying it's based in on the Constitution, and I can't get into the particulars. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, you know, all that versed on the Constitution. I just know that this is some of the things, and it's probably more to come. More things that will be struck down that a lot of people were against, and now they have the Supreme Court members to do what they want, whatever they want to do, as far as changing long-standing laws that have been on the books for a long time and that have benefited many people. So that's what we have to deal with. But that's too early for the politics this morning. But anyway, here we are again, and we're gonna go off now and appreciate the few that came on and watched. But if you're watching out there and you're still up, that this is the professor look here when you have your glasses down. You know, the glasses are just for reading, but you have your glasses down so you can see your students. Um, and actually, they can see your eyes, and your eyes can be very expressive sometimes. So it's important for that professor to stand up there and show his eyes. It's not as easy to see with the glasses, especially when you got a ring light that's shining on you. But the glasses sort of hide the true reveal of the expressions that your eyes project out there. And so that's why you've seen a lot of professors with those glasses that just sit there and where they can actually look at you. But when they need to read, they can look down into the lens, which assists them when reading. So this is my professor look on the Slim Nation tonight. And so you can see all my expression. You see, when you smile, you can tell when someone's smiling with their eyes. You can tell when they're serious. You can tell when they're upset. You can tell when they're dumbfounded, like the decisions that the Supreme Court made over the last few days. What? But that was temporary because it was kind of expected. Like I said, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. Uh, but anyway, thanks everybody, and I appreciate you. I wish you well tonight, and please stay tuned for the Slim Nation podcast, the One on Ones podcast. And the more we do, the better they will get. And we will just try to have some deep conversations. So, one of the things I keep thinking of things to say, but one of the things when you do those one on ones, you know, you have to kind of prepare. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do more, prepare a little bit more. I do prepare and look up, but I like the spontaneous conversations that we have. But it's important to have those notes because I go back and watch some things and I missed some questions that I intended to ask because I didn't write it down. Most of the time, I write stuff down, make notes to myself what I want to get in there, and sometimes I get to it, and sometimes the conversations take you way away from that, and that's fine. But it's nothing more frustrating when you watch those one-on-ones, or I watch the one-on-ones I've had with people, and then I missed a question that I really wanted to ask, or opportunity I missed because of a statement that guest made that I tried to wait for them to finish making their comment and ask that question. And then by the time they finish, I forget the question. So it's important to write it down. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing a podcast. And it's all about preparation. And most of you know that, especially you professionals out there, journalism professionals. It's funny. But for those content creators that are not trained in this field, and it's many of us, it's a lot of us out there. Anybody who has a camera can do this, can do some things with the camera and talk about some issues, share your views, and so. But if you do the podcast, and most people do, I watch other people's podcasts, and they seem to be well prepared. Some of them seem a little too structured, you but that's the way they do it, and I just like to not necessarily fly by the seat of my pants because that would be crazy. That would be kind of chaotic. But I mean, well, you know, you will miss a lot of things that you might want to cover with that person. But first, do a little research on the person and have some questions, you know, based on that, and have some issues, topical issues you might want to bring up, or it might be something that they're particularly doing, or they are promoting as far as an event, upcoming event. So the conversation can be dominated by that. But you still, my thing, I like to, have a little personal conversation with that person, regardless of what they're doing, what they're promoting, just so you know a little about that person if you don't already know. And you might learn something that you didn't know about that person, or what that person does, or what they're all about. And then you can get into the event. And throughout the conversation, things can come up, that are relevant or may not be relevant to the subject. So, but that's what I try to do, and I try to improve each time. So, uh, and stay true. Well, not stay true, but with my amateur status, as far as doing this, I don't try to go out of my lane per se, because leave that to the professionals. But I think some of the conversations I've had are interesting, or it might be something that you would enjoy watching. So yes, we appreciate that. And thanks everybody for watching. And we'll see you next time. And like you say, if I can't sleep tonight, I'll probably be back up here at 5 o'clock, or maybe 4:30, between three, well, 4:30 or something like that. Because when you get around to 5 o'clock, that's when a lot of people are waking up anyway. Either preparing to go to work, or some people even retired, wake up during that time of the day. Those are those people that get those 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. So they're up 5, 6, and even some at 4:30. And that's why the last thing, and I promise you, I just wanted to let you know, remind you that Postman Coffee Talk is on hiatus right now. It's nothing wrong. We just decided to take a break and look at some things, um, and and come back with a new and improved Postman Coffee Talk with the same format with the guests that we bring on. But we'll be focusing on some theme days, where if you don't watch every day, and if it's a certain theme that we announce that we're having on that, you can be sure to tune into that if that's one of your interests. Don't know right now if it's going to be like a permanent theme day, like one day a month. We're focused solely on finances. It's always something you can talk about that, or mental health. I think we do that enough. We spread that out enough because we do have a we have a guest host, Dr. Ernestine Duncan, who comes on and helps us, brings her professionalism to any time that we're talking about mental health issues. And we also have Dr. Bruce Copeland, who's a social work specialist, a licensed social worker, uh, prac- practitioner uh, as well. and who comes on and talk about those issues, those social issues concerning, especially concerning the African American communities and beyond. So we have those little things that we come up every once in a while, but we'll be working on a lot of different things and some things, as I mentioned, or shows that you can look forward to if you don't watch every show. Uh, because some shows that we have might not spark your interest, but you can be assured every third Thursday or something like that. I'm just pulling that out the air, so we're working on that. You can be sure that we'll be talking finances, or another particular subject. So, and then we'll just stay true to that. So make sure you stay tuned for about the middle of July or the end of July. For some coffee talk will be coming back and coming back strong. And we'll still be doing the Slim Nation here. Right now, I'm scheduled every Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8 o'clock. But if you've been watching the last few days, I'll pop up anytime. And that's because I want to make sure that people go to the newly formed the Slim Nation 101's podcast and subscribe so I can start getting subscription numbers up on that channel. So that's why I'm trying to put out a lot of videos on this because when you're starting up with a channel on YouTube, in order to receive, get those prescription numbers going, you have to get them going. Right now, I don't have any. You have to get them going. To get them going, you have to be pushing out videos, one after another, so it can catch the attention of the YouTube viewers. And then you have to have something out there where YouTube will push your videos. So you have to have enough out there. You have to have some content and something that YouTube will look at and say, okay, well, let's share this with some of the many YouTube viewers out there. They might have an interest in this subject. So that's what we're trying to do with this new Slim Nation page that we just start, not page, but channel that we just started. And still have the regular Slim Nation channel, but I mentioned earlier the one-on-ones is specifically for conversations between myself and guests. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube, the Slim Nation 101's podcast. Put that in, and the page will pop up. This new page, and just subscribe. Just hit it, and um, so we can start at least showing some subscription numbers there. And as we start pushing out the videos, the one-on-one videos, it'll be much easier to get those numbers up because we'll have something on on the channel to offer to people. So in the beginning, even though I have those Tuesdays and Thursdays set as times where I will have guests, but in the beginning, to make sure I get enough videos, you probably will see a lot of videos at different times that I will be putting out with guests, as many who want to watch. And those conversations will be no longer than a half an hour, as opposed to we do an hour on Portsmouth Coffee Talk and try to stay to that. Oh, somebody got the mouth wide open. We do an hour to that and try to stay close to that on Portsmouth Coffee Talk because we do have three hosts and all of us have something to say. And then we have a guest, and sometimes we have two or three guests on there at the same time. So we need that hour for everybody to be involved with the conversation or whatever issue we're dealing with at that time. But the one-on-ones, a half an hour should be sufficient, and that's what we have it set. I've had one that went over the hour because of what we were talking about, and sometimes it extends past that. But I try to keep those one-on-ones to a half hour, and if need be, we'll bring that guest back if it needs to be a part two. But because people's attention span sometimes, you know, it's no longer. Sometimes it's no longer than 2 or 3 minutes. But and I would ask anybody to come on onto the channel, YouTube channel, even if you're just there for 1 or 2 minutes, hit that subscribe button and help me out in that way. And you can see that. Let's see. Hmm, I don't see it up here. Must have gone away. But usually on, I have my Cash App up here, but it's $Slim 685. $Slim 685. For anybody that wants to help out with that channel, but you don't have to because the channel is free to watch. So, but anybody that just wants to help out and keep the Slim Nation going, please do. See, some people have woke up, so I guess these people are awake at this time at 2:36, and I've been on here for a while talking, and I was just wondering, any of those people you can put it in the comments. Any of those people, well, I don't know. If some of the people might be putting it in the Facebook comments, and I can't see that right now. But they do have a yard StreamYard comment section there for people to make comments. But that's okay. I'll figure that out later. But thanks for the people watching. And I just wondered what people, when they wake up early in the morning, what's on your mind? I mean, and you can't go back to sleep. What do you do? What do you do on your way back to sleep? Or if you up for the whole night until the morning, what do you do? Do you read a book? Do you turn on the TV like probably most people do? Do you go to the computer, or do you open up your phone and go to Facebook and do what you're doing now, watching a crazy person early up in the morning, talking about being up in the morning? What do you do? What do you do? Do you take that time if you're a journalist, or when I mean journalist, you write in a journal daily? Do you write in your journal about how your day went? Do you call somebody that might be on the West Coast, and the time difference might be appropriate for you to call someone? What do you do when you wake up and you can't go to sleep? And usually, what are the root causes of you waking up? Is that you slept too long in those naps during the day, or you took a nap, intended nap, and it turned into sleep? And a nap is anything from 5 to 15 minutes. Uh, sleep is an hour or more. A nap can be, a little bit, but a true nap is no more than, you know, a few minutes to 15 minutes. That's what a nap is in my definition of a nap. Anything past that, you sleep. I mean, you're in a deep sleep. So if you get one of those, and that causes you to wake up early in the morning, is that your reason? Or is this something you do every morning? Wake up early in the morning, 2:30, 3, 4, 5, and you don't have anywhere to go really. You're not getting up for a reason. You just wake up. Your body says, okay, let's get up. What are we going to do today? And it's not much you can do at that time in the morning, except things that you can do within the confines of your house. Some people get up and run if you feel safe to do that. But and God bless you if you do that. We'll pray for you. But anyways, we'll come back at another time, and I wanted to see comments, but I think the way I have the StreamYard set up and where I am, usually I'm in my what I call my studio, a room in the house, and I'm on the computer. I'm just on the phone right now in another part of the house. But when I'm on my computer, I can set up another my tablet where I can watch while I'm recording on StreamYard. I can watch the comments that are on Facebook Live because right now I'm on Facebook Live and my YouTube channel at the same time live. So uh, next time I come on, I'll make sure I'm at my computer so I can see any comments that might be made. But it looked like people dropped off, and that's what I'm gonna get ready to do. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you.